Women are far more complex than most men ever realize. They speak with their words, but the truth of what they feel, want, fear, and desire is often hidden beneath the surface. Not because they want to deceive you, but because some parts of their psychology are too vulnerable to expose, too strategic to reveal, or too powerful to put into words. Every man has felt confused by a woman at some point. Her sudden distance, her warmth, her silence, her mixed signals, her triggers, her shifts in emotion. But behind every action she takes, there is a hidden secret driving it, a truth she will never say directly, even if she hints at it. Most men go their entire lives without ever understanding these secrets, and because of that, they misread signals, lose attraction, fail tests, and damage connections they could have protected. Today, we are pulling back the curtain. These are the 7 hidden secrets women never tell men, but expect you to understand anyway. Women have an incredibly sharp emotional radar, far more powerful than most men realize. While men tend to see things directly and logically, women absorb information emotionally, intuitively, and continuously. She notices the tone of your voice when you're stressed, the hesitation in your answers when something is bothering you, and the shift in your energy even before you do. She notices the way you look at her, the way you treat others, the effort you put into things, and the small changes in your behavior that you assume are invisible. Nothing slips past her subconscious. She may not mention it, but she registers everything. She notices when you stop texting the way you used to. She notices when you become distant. She notices when your attention shifts. She notices when your tone changes. She notices when you're hiding something. She notices when something feels off, even if she can't explain why. This is not a skill she chooses, it's biology. Women evolved to detect emotional details for survival. Their brain is wired to observe micro-expressions, small changes in body language, inconsistencies in words, and emotional tension in relationships. This makes them incredibly intuitive, sometimes scarily accurate. And here's the part most men don't understand. Even when she doesn't confront you, she's already formed an opinion about what she saw. She watches quietly, evaluates internally, and reacts emotionally, long before she reacts verbally. This secret matters because it explains why women respond so strongly to things men consider small. What looks like a minor action to you might feel like a major emotional signal to her. Understanding this can change everything, because once you realize how much she notices, you'll understand how deeply she feels. Every woman tests a man, not to manipulate him, not to play games, but to understand something important: your emotional strength and your consistency. These tests are not planned or calculated. They're instinctive. Women test men the same way they evaluate safety, stability, and trust. She wants to know if you're the kind of man who crumbles under pressure or stays centered. She wants to know if your confidence is real or just an act. And she wants to know if your words match your actions. She will pull back a little just to see if you panic. She will disagree with you to see if you stay calm. She will say something emotional to see if you react impulsively. She will set boundaries to see if you respect them. She will go quiet to see whether you chase or stay grounded. None of these tests are conscious decisions. They happen because women want emotional security. And the only way to feel secure is to see how a man behaves under stress or uncertainty. The truth is simple. A woman can be attracted to your looks, your success, or your charm, but she becomes emotionally attached to your stability. A man who stays calm when she tests him becomes 10 times more attractive. A man who gets insecure, clingy, or frustrated becomes 10 times less attractive. Women never admit this because it sounds manipulative, but in reality, it's instinct. She tests you because she wants reassurance that you can handle her emotions, her fears, and the unpredictability of life. If you pass her tests with calm confidence, she feels safe. And when a woman feels safe with a man, her attraction deepens in ways she will never fully put into words. Men often misunderstand what women truly want. They assume women want flowers, surprises, fancy dates, or romantic gestures. And while those things are appreciated, they are not the core of what a woman needs to feel connected to a man. The truth, the hidden truth women rarely admit, is that emotional safety matters far more to her than romance ever will. Emotional safety is the feeling that she can be herself around you without being judged. It's the comfort of knowing that you won't withdraw the moment things get difficult. It's the security of trusting that your words, your actions, and your intentions all align. Romance can make her smile, but emotional safety makes her stay. Women crave emotional safety because it is the foundation of vulnerability. She wants to open up about her fears, her insecurities, her childhood wounds, her dreams, and her emotional storms without worrying that you'll use it against her or see her as too much. Men often misunderstand these emotional moments as drama or weakness, but for a woman, they're a test of whether you can hold space for her. When she feels emotionally safe, she stops pretending, stops hiding her feelings, and becomes the most genuine version of herself. A woman will choose emotional safety over looks, over money, over status, and even over romantic excitement. She may enjoy the thrill of attraction, but she attaches deeply to the man who makes her feel understood. Emotional safety is what makes her loyal. It's what makes her patient. It's what makes her trust you with parts of herself she doesn't show anyone else. And when a woman doesn't feel safe emotionally, she slowly disconnects no matter how romantic the relationship seems on the outside. Women rarely admit this because emotional safety isn't flashy or poetic. It's simple, calm, and deeply intimate. It is the quiet, powerful force that decides whether she stays connected or quietly walks away in search of someone who can make her feel emotionally held. When a woman finds emotional safety in a man, she finds a home, not just a partner. One of the biggest secrets women never openly admit is how quickly they become emotionally attached, often much faster than they let on. On the outside, a woman may appear calm, composed, and completely unbothered. She may act like she's just taking things slow or not sure how she feels yet, but internally her emotions move much faster and much deeper than her words reveal. Women are naturally wired for emotional connection, and once they feel safe, understood, and valued, attachment forms almost instantly. But the truth is, she will never show this early attachment because women fear three things more than anything else: being seen as needy, being rejected, and losing emotional power too soon. Even when she's already attached, she pretends she's not. She hides her excitement, controls her feelings, and gives measured responses to avoid looking too interested. She wants to protect her heart, so she acts indifferent even when she's emotionally invested. She'll think about you more than you realize. She'll look forward to your messages. She'll replay moments in her mind, and she'll talk herself out of texting first just to avoid appearing vulnerable. She may analyze your tone, your patterns, and your effort, all while acting as if she isn't paying much attention at all. Women attach not through logic, but through emotional resonance. And if a man makes her feel understood, admired, and emotionally safe, attachment forms even faster. But she hides it because vulnerability is risky, especially in the early stages, and she wants to know that you won't disappear the moment she opens up. The hidden truth is simple. Women don't attach slowly, they reveal slowly. Her calm exterior isn't emotional distance, it's emotional protection. When a woman is acting cool, she may already be far more invested than she'll ever admit, and understanding this will prevent you from misinterpreting her subtle actions as disinterest when, in reality, they are signs of deepening feelings she's quietly trying to manage. One of the most misunderstood parts of female psychology is how silently a woman can detach when she feels emotionally neglected, unheard, or unvalued. Men often assume that if a woman is unhappy, she will say it directly, complain, or argue. But women rarely disconnect loudly. They disconnect quietly. Her emotional withdrawal begins long before her physical distance shows. She stops feeling excited to talk to you, she stops trying to fix things, and she stops imagining a future with you, all while still behaving politely on the surface. What makes this so dangerous is that men usually don't notice the shift until it's too late. Because a woman's silence feels calm, but it's actually the beginning of the end. When a woman starts losing interest, she doesn't announce it. She simply invests less of her emotional energy. The messages become shorter, the conversations less meaningful, and the energy more neutral. She becomes harder to impress, less responsive, and more indifferent. She may still care, but the emotional spark that once drove her effort begins to fade. And the truth is, once a woman stops trying, her heart has already moved into a different phase: evaluation. She watches how you respond to her emotional distance. Do you chase desperately? Do you ignore her completely? Or do you show balanced confidence that makes her feel safe again? Most men panic at this stage, and that panic pushes her even farther away. A woman wants to feel chosen, valued, and emotionally prioritized. When she feels taken for granted, she doesn't erupt. She slowly shuts down. And once a woman finishes her internal detachment process, it's almost impossible to bring her back because she has already grieved the relationship in her mind before you even realize something is wrong. Women lose interest quietly because they disconnect emotionally long before they walk away physically. By the time she stops fighting for the relationship, she has already accepted a truth she never said out loud. She no longer sees you the same way. A truth most men never realize is that women compare far more than they ever admit. Even in healthy relationships, even when she cares about you, and even when she is loyal, a woman's mind is constantly evaluating you against the behavior, effort, energy, and emotional presence of other men around her. This isn't because she wants someone else, It's because comparison is one of the main ways women measure emotional value. She notices how other men communicate, how they carry themselves, how they treat people, how consistent they are, and how confidently they move through life. And every time she observes something, she subconsciously compares it to you. She won't say it out loud, but she feels it. Women compare emotionally, not physically. She compares how safe she feels with you versus how safe she feels around others. She notices how much effort you put into conversations, how deeply you listen, and how present you are. She compares your confidence, your emotional control, and your ambition. She watches how other men treat their partners, whether with respect or care, and asks herself if she feels that same emotional nourishment with you. These comparisons aren't intentional, they're instinctive. Women evolve to assess the stability of a partner by measuring him against her environment. The scary part. She rarely expresses these comparisons verbally. Instead, she expresses them emotionally. If she sees something she admires in another man, she may start expecting a similar energy from you. If she sees something she dislikes in others, she becomes more grateful for your strengths. Her feelings shift not based on what other men do, but based on how you stack up in the emotional categories that matter to her. Men often think women compare looks, money, or status, but what truly shapes her perception are the subtle qualities: emotional maturity, confidence under pressure, grounded decision-making, and the ability to make her feel secure. When a woman compares you, she's not looking for perfection. She's looking for reassurance that she chose a man who can lead himself, and therefore can lead the relationship. Understanding this hidden process helps you see her reactions not as criticism, but as emotional signals telling you exactly what she values most. Another secret women rarely say out loud is how deeply they are drawn to a man who carries a sense of mystery, unpredictability, and emotional independence. This doesn't mean being inconsistent, unreliable, or confusing. It means you don't give her full access to your inner world all at once. Women are naturally attracted to emotional depth, and depth only exists where there is mystery. When a man is too predictable, too available, or too easily understood, she feels safe but not excited. But when a man has layers, when he's calm yet unreadable, when he moves with quiet confidence, and when he reveals himself slowly, her attraction intensifies in ways she cannot explain. Predictability creates comfort, but mystery creates desire. Women crave a man whose presence is steady but whose mind is not immediately transparent. A man who has his own inner world, his own thoughts, his own goals, and a sense of self that doesn't revolve around her. This emotional independence is magnetic because it signals strength. It tells her that your sense of identity isn't dependent on her validation, her approval, or her reactions. Women feel more passion for men who choose them but do not rely on them. They want to feel wanted, not needed. When a man has a life outside of her, when he has personal ambitions, when he takes time to himself, when he doesn't always respond instantly, and when he holds his emotions with maturity, a woman becomes more curious. She leans in, she pays more attention, she starts to chase, not because he's playing games, but because she senses that he is someone worth discovering. Women don't fall in love with what is fully known, they fall in love with what is revealed slowly, piece by piece. The truth is, a little unpredictability makes her feel alive. It activates emotional chemistry, creates anticipation, and pulls her deeper into the connection. When a woman feels that you are hard to predict but steady but not simple, she becomes more invested, more curious, and more attracted, often without even realizing why. There is one secret women carry so deeply that most of them cannot admit it even to themselves. A secret that shapes their choices, their attraction, their fears, and the way they behave in relationships, yet it stays completely hidden beneath layers of emotion and self-protection. That secret is simple. She is terrified of losing a man who truly understands her. Not a man who is perfect, not a man who is rich, handsome, or charming, but a man who sees her emotional patterns clearly, who doesn't get manipulated by her fears, who stays calm when she spirals, and who understands her more deeply than she understands herself. A woman might walk away from a man who is weak, inconsistent, insecure, or emotionally unavailable. She might leave a man who stops trying, who takes her for granted, or who fails to give her emotional safety. But she almost never walks away from a man who can read her unspoken signals, who stays grounded when she tests him, who doesn't latch on when she pulls back, and who holds steady when her emotions get complicated. She becomes attached to that man in a way she cannot logically explain. The secret she never admits is that emotional understanding is her greatest weakness. It disarms her defenses, it softens her resistance, it makes her feel safe and exposed at the same time, and that combination is powerful. It is why a woman can leave a man she loves but struggle to let go of a man who truly understands her. Emotional understanding touches a part of her identity that runs deeper than romance. passion or excitement. It makes her feel seen. She won't admit this because it makes her feel vulnerable, dependent, and emotionally open in ways she can't control. Admitting this would mean admitting how easily she could be hurt by the right man, so she keeps this truth buried even from herself, but deep down she knows it. The one thing she fears losing the most is the man who understands her better than she understands herself. When you understand these 7 hidden secrets, you begin to see women in a completely different way, not as confusing, contradictory beings, but as deeply emotional creatures wired for connection, protection, and meaning. Most men struggle in relationships not because they are bad partners, but because they never learned how women think beneath the surface. They take her words literally, but ignore her emotional signals. They hear what she says, but miss what she feels. And because these secrets stay hidden, men misinterpret her distance as disinterest, her silence as peace, her tests as drama, and her emotions as weakness. In reality, everything she does is rooted in instinct, vulnerability, and the need for emotional safety.